Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moments. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Soul Land 3 Legend of the Dragon King Part 56 based on novel. So let's start. Mushi snorted. Are you trying to shoo me away? I'm not leaving then. She plopped herself down on his bedside haughtily. She really is. He was simply helpless in front of this senior disciple sister. Meanwhile, Shulishi circled around Tang Wulin a few times like a shark, inspecting his body. You really are a freak. I can't believe you're already okay. Incredible. With his words dipped in annoyance, Tang Wulin said, You're not just here to look at my wounds, are you? Come eat with me. Your drool is about to hit the floor. Really? Shulishi lowered his voice. You're really not mad at me? Tang Wulin chuckled. It's hard to find a fellow foodie, you know? How could I be angry with you? Besides, didn't you say you would call me big brother since I can out-eat you? What big brother would be angry with their little brother? Such words coaxed a heavy sigh from Shulishi's mouth, wiping his anxious expression away into a blossoming grin. Yeah, that's right. Since there's good food to be eaten with Big Brother, don't mind me if I'm rude then. He grabbed a pig trotter and began gnawing on it. Mushi was desperately trying not to laugh. Gluttons can really appreciate one another. Oh, right. Boss, there was something else I came for. Here, I have something good for you to eat. Shulishi raised his hand, gathering soul power within his palm as two stunning soul rings rose beneath him. I have a meat bun. After he muttered this verse, light coalesced into a bun in his palms, his first soul ring twinkling like a star in the sky. Both Tang Wulin and Mushi stared wide-eyed at the fatty. You're a food-type soul master? Tang Wulin and Mushi exclaimed in unison. Essentially, soul masters were divided into two categories, battle and tool types. Food-type soul masters were an exceptionally rare type within the tool category. The fact that he was not just a food-type soul master, but also had 2 rings at the age of 10, shook their hearts. It was common knowledge that food-type soul masters had the hardest time cultivating. The bun should be this guy's martial soul. Tang Wulin recalled the shiny white object Shulishi had thrown at the beginning of the exhibition match. Now he knew that they hadn't been steamed buns, but stuffed buns. Meat stuffed buns. This really is. After accepting the bun, he sunk his teeth into it, a puff of steam escaping from the newfound opening. Not only was it fragrant, it was stuffed to the brim with meat soaked in a rich broth. Once he devoured the bun in a few bites, warmth permeated his body. Soul power stirred within him, increasing his recovery speed. A proud look crossed Shulishi's face. My first soul skill is recovery pork bun. Eating it will restore your physical strength and your soul power. It's really helpful in the middle of battle too. It even has a constitution strengthening effect. It should help you recover. Do you want to eat a few more? Sure. In the end, Tang Wulin savored more than 10 tasty meat buns. He could feel a noticeable surge in his healing speed, his soul power recovering completely. In contrast, Shulishi was only slightly exhausted. It's a miraculous martial soul. Tang Wulin cried out. Shulishi straightened his back with pride. Of course. I'm a food-type soul master who has innate full soul power that you can only encounter once every 100 years. I'm already guaranteed a spot in the inner court. When they tested my talent, they said it was even greater than Big Sis Xinglan's. The two little gluttons continued to attack the pile of food. At the sight of their joyful feasting, even Mushi grew tempted by Shulishi's meat buns. Once she tasted one for herself, she understood their incredible appeal. Tang Wulin sighed in his heart. If Shulishi could just stay by my side forever, then I wouldn't have to ever worry about food. That would be amazing. Sun with rays. Shulishi's pork bun's efficacy was not exaggerated. Tang Wulin was fully healed by the time he started cultivating the next morning, his scabs peeling away to reveal delicate skin. You've recovered even faster than I imagined. Wu Zhongkong stood at Tang Wulin's side. The master and disciple duo were cultivating the purple demon eyes together. As a fellow Tang sect disciple, Xie had chosen 2 secret arts too, but neither were the purple demon eyes. He had selected the mysterious heaven method and the ghost shadow perplexing track. Wu Zhongkong asked, "Are you still competing in the blacksmith's competition?" Tang Wulin shook his head. With second place secured, there was no point in him going. It would be fine to give his senior disciple sister first place. That's good then. Let's go back to the room. I'll teach you another secret art of the Tang sect. A tremble ran down Tang Wulin's spine, hair springing up from his skin. I'm going to learn another Tang sect art? I wonder what it will be. The mysterious heaven method increased his cultivation speed while also compressing his soul power, boosting his stamina in battle. The purple demon eyes, on the other hand, enhanced his control and served as another form of attack. Most important of all was that it was a spiritual power cultivation method. Without it, he wouldn't have been able to evolve his spirit soul. Just what would the third Tang sect art be? He trusted that Wu Zhongkong would not do him wrong in selecting his third art. Once they returned to his room, Wu Zhongkong closed the window blinds and lit a soul lamp. I'm sure you're aware of your martial soul's innate weakness. Though you've upgraded it to the 1000-year level, that doesn't make up for what its core shortcomings. There is no way it can ever compare with those first-rate martial souls. However, your advantage lies in your transformed body. Your body is far stronger than a normal person's, in fact, it's several times so. Especially when your bloodline is stirred and your golden scales appear. Thus, what's important right now is for you to increase your control over your martial soul. When you choose a soul skill in the future, develop in that direction while keeping your body as your main form of attack. I don't know how much more your body will mutate, so we'll take one step at a time for now. At the moment, the most fitting Tang sect art for you is controlling crane, capturing dragon. Controlling crane, capturing dragon. These 4 words penetrated Tang Wulin deeply, arousing an ineffable feeling within him. Wu Zhongkong nodded. According to the rules of the Tang sect, every new member may choose one art to practice. Once they've passed the middle-level test, they can pick a second art. They can learn a third art once they reach the 3rd rank in a profession. Anyone who joins the sect by passing the high-level test will also have the privilege to choose 3. However, you can only learn up to 3 arts for free. In other words, even if you pass the high-level test and reach 3rd rank in a profession, you can still only learn 3 Tang sect arts. Tang Wulin gaped, fish-eyed. Then, what do I do if I want to learn other Tang sect arts in the future? Wu Zhongkong said, you'll need to exchange contribution points at the sect for them. After all, the Tang sect can't just operate on nothing. The sect needs to grow too. Once we return to East Sea City, you can go take a look at our local branch. With your current profession rank, you should qualify for some sect missions. There, you'll learn how to earn the right to additional Tang sect arts. Furthermore, you can also trade with other sect members for points. Okay. Excitement sparked within Tang Wulin like a lit firework. To him, contributing to the sect wasn't bothersome. Besides, he had to repay the sect for the teachings he received. By doing so, he would gain more from the Tang sect. Generally speaking, everyone will pick the mysterious heaven method when they first join since it's the basis of all Tang sect arts. For that reason, I had both you and Xie select this art. You chose the purple demon eye second for its effect on your spiritual power. Picking controlling crane, capturing dragon for the 3rd is to increase your dexterity. If you're able to use the art skillfully, it can become powerful for both attack and defense. Watch. As he spoke, Wu Zhongkong beckoned to a table on the side, drawing it toward him with some sort of soft, undulating energy. An instant later, a pen container flew in his direction, entering his hands with a soft thud. This is controlling crane. He pushed with his right hand, sending the pen container zipping through the air. Once out of his grasp, however, it did not fall and swayed in tune with Wu Zhongkong's actions. This is capturing dragon. Controlling crane, capturing dragon is actually divided into 2 parts. One is the technique for controlling crane and the other is for capturing dragon. Pay attention to your control of soul power when you practice it. If you can increase your proficiency, then it's like possessing another pair of powerful soul skills. If your mastery reaches the peak, then controlling crane, capturing dragon can even manipulate a mountain. The mysterious heaven method is the foundation of controlling crane, capturing dragon. The greater your soul power, the mightier this art becomes. Wu Zhongkong pressed a palm toward Tang Wulin. This created a force of attraction between the two, causing Tang Wulin to stumble forward and fall flat on his face. Wu Zhongkong thrust his palm forward, shooting Tang Wulin backward to the wall like an arrow. A split second before he slammed into the wall, an attractive force gripped him, suspending him in the air. He descended to the ground. It feels so strange. Being as clever as he was, he understood what this mystical sensation was. Ideas began popping up one after another on how he could incorporate controlling crane, capturing dragon into his arsenal. He could draw his opponents toward him using this art, placing them within attack range of his golden dragon claw. This would tremendously improve the effectiveness of his golden dragon claw. Even Yi Xinglan, a Shrek Academy student who wielded the powerful Star God sword, treated his claw as a serious threat. The magnificence of controlling crane, capturing dragon struck him. This art would maximize the brief window of time in which he could utilize his claw. So it's like this. I'll teach you the basics of controlling crane first. Memorize this. Controlling crane is built upon your foundation from the mysterious heaven method. You circulate the soul power in your dantian and then move it along this meridian. As he guided Tang Wulin through the process with his own soul power, a string of detailed instructions flooded out of Wu Zhongkong's mouth. Tang Wulin soon discovered that controlling crane and the mysterious heaven method shared several circulation paths. He circulated his soul power according to the mysterious heaven method, spinning it within his meridians and into his palm to create an attractive force. For the rest of the morning, he immersed himself in practicing controlling crane. Unlike with the purple demon eyes, Tang Wulin wrestled with its application. Despite receiving Wu Zhongkong's guidance, he struggled with the basics, needing more time to put it to practical use. Tang sect arts are so mysterious. Tang Wulin applauded his decision in joining the Tang sect. As a one-ring soul master, his greatest weakness was the number of rings he held. The Tang sect's secret arts were the perfect remedies. Sun with rays. How are you feeling? Can you compete today? After lunch, Gu bombarded Tang Wulin with questions. Tang Wulin responded with a nod. Of course I can. Oh yeah, it should be a round robin now, right? According to the rules of the competition, 36 teams would battle it out in a round robin tournament after the two initial knockout rounds. This segment divided the remaining teams into 4 groups, each consisting of 9 teams. Every team would participate in 8 matches and fight the other teams in their group one by one. Winning a match earned them 2 points while a loss gained a grand total of 0. If they somehow fought to a draw, then both teams would receive 1 point. After each team had fought against every team in their group, the top 4 of each group would advance. A total of 16 teams was given this honor. From there, a final knockout tournament would be held until the champion team emerged. Only the top 16 received awards. These rules applied to both the youth and adult division. For Tang Wulin's team's first 2 matches, Lady Luck had smiled down upon them. They didn't chance upon hidden tigers but rather docile cats. Now it was time for the round robin. Yeah. We're in the 3rd group, Xie said. Tang Wulin asked, have you guys investigated our opponent's strengths yet? Xie shook his head. I couldn't find anything at all. There are too many people to investigate, and even when we were watching the others battle, we were acting like pure spectators. We'll have to adapt to the situation. Fortunately, I heard that those 2 from Shrek aren't in our group. Great. We're not meeting them in this mini-competition. Both Tang Wulin and Yi Xinglan were well aware of how they compared against each other. He was no match for her, and if she had been more cautious, Tang Wulin wouldn't have lasted as long as he did. But now, it was the team competition, where a single individual's strength did not make or break the battle. He had confidence in his teammates. Then it'll be us 3 battling with Xiaoyuan as the substitute. Sounds good. Tang Wulin confirmed with Xu Xiaoyan. Nodding and beaming a smile, she answered. Captain, I heard that the finals will be held at night to maximize viewership. The gears in Tang Wulin's head spun into action, each cog interlocking with and leading the other. This was a critical piece of information that would change their tactics. The Sky Sea Alliance tournament had gone on for a few days now, with the blacksmiths' competition rankings already announced. The champion was Mu Shi, the daughter of the 8th-rank Saint Blacksmith, Mu Chen. This outcome had long been predicted by those of the blacksmithing world. After all, Mu Chen was the sole 8th-rank blacksmith in the Sky Sea Alliance. Although East Sea City lacked in other aspects, its blacksmiths were excellent. Mu Chen was revered in the Sky Sea Alliance. Even so, the blacksmiths' competition wasn't a major attraction, especially the junior division. Regardless of the field, geniuses needed time to be polished like a lump of raw jade. A truly peerless blacksmith in theory would be no less than 40 years old. The competitions for mecha craftsmen, designers, and mechanics were still in progress. Compared to the blacksmithing competition, these events boasted a structure that was far more complex. Of course, Soul Master events were the most popular. Whether it was the individual or team competitions, it was a feast for the eyes that came once every 3 years. Among the Soul Master events, the finals for the 7-man, 5-man, and 3-man team competitions received the highest ratings. The junior division's ratings, however, paled in comparison with the adults, since the former's average cultivation level wavered around 2 rings. Thus, the 3-man team competition was scheduled for the afternoon while the 7-man was scheduled for the night. This was prime time, when viewership would be at its peak. Those with deep pockets could be found in the spectator stands while those without would watch it at home on their Soul TV. Sun with Rays. Sky Sea Stadium, Box 7. This seating belonged to the VIPs in attendance. A towering glass screen faced the stadium, allowing those within a clear view of the battles. The glass screen also doubled as a Soul screen that let the occupants select any match to watch. It didn't matter if those battles were in progress or had ended. Currently, 2 people stood in front of the screen. One was a man with long hair, snow-white strands drifting in the wind and blending in with his pure white attire, Wu Zhongkong. Standing beside him was a lady about 26 years old. She was extremely pretty with a head of exotic long white hair. She was clad in dark green sportswear. Her viridian eyes twinkled with both vitality and ferocity. Her white hair and Wu Zhangkong's white robe seemed perfectly coordinated. I only let her stir things up because they're your disciples, you know? Aren't you the least bit worried? The pale-haired lady cracked a wry smile. Wu Zhongkong asked indifferently, why would I be worried? She raised a brow. It seems you're quite confident in your disciples. Do you think your teaching skills already surpass the academy's? Wu Zhongkong shook his head. I've long since stopped caring about victory or defeat. I didn't have them compete with aims of victory. How's the kid from yesterday doing? He has a variant martial soul, right? The white-haired lady asked. He shot her a look. If I told you that I'm not sure what's going on with his body either, would you believe me? The woman was stunned. I'll believe you. When has Sky Ice Wu Zhongkong ever told a lie? But really? Even you don't know? That's really strange then. Wu Zhongkong said, his martial soul was originally ordinary blue-silver grass and his spirit soul was weak as well. However, his body is extraordinary. The reason I am perplexed is because his bloodline's evolution and his martial soul affect one another. Even stranger is that his bloodline's mutations have nothing to do with his martial soul. Although they are 2 completely different existences, they are not twin martial souls. It's my first time encountering something like this. Do you want to bring him back to the academy? We can ask some of the elders to examine him, the white-haired lady said, her words pleasing to the ear. Wu Zhangkong's expression grew stern, but he soon shook his head with resolution. No. If they're going to attend the academy, then it will be through their own ability and nothing else. A gentle sigh escaped from the woman's lips. Are you still mad at them? Actually, the situation back then. Don't say any more. I don't hold any grudges against them. If I did, then it's only toward myself. I'm just a dead man walking now. I wouldn't mind dying if I wasn't still looking for a way to revive her. Pain flashed through his eyes, sharp and blinding. You're so stubborn, the lady sighed in exasperation. Wu Zhangkong's expression flickered back into a frigid tone, the remnants of sorrow all but a dream. If I wasn't, then would I still be me? The lady laughed. That's right. If you weren't like this, you wouldn't be the man in white who brandishes a blue sword and is as cold as the frozen heavens. You wouldn't be the man that Long Bing loved. Wu Zhongkong watched the matches silently, but his eyes were glazed over. In the deepest depths of his mind, countless memories played back. A while later, he muttered under his breath, Shen Yi, I went to visit her a few days ago. The lady named Shen Yi stirred. You visited Heavendo? Will you really never return to the academy? Don't you know how much your teacher grieved after you left? Agony haunted his expression. I'm not worthy of my teacher. I'm too ashamed to go back. Shen Yi said, Are you raising these children to send off to the academy as an apology to your teacher? Wu Zhongkong remained silent. Shen Yi sighed. You're wrong. No one can replace you, the only person who can make up for it is yourself. After all, you're still alive. You should return already. Sun with rays. Due to the strict schedules of the round robin, the 4 students of Class 0 arrived at the stadium early. Each group had its own program. With 9 teams per group, there would be 1 bye each day. Class 0 wasn't fortunate enough to have a bye in the first round. Their opponent was Sky Sea Academy's B team. For cities as large as Sky Sea City or East Sea City, it was normal to send up to 3 teams to compete in one division. Tang Wulin's team was also one of several teams East Sea Academy dispatched, the youngest among them. Sky Sea Academy was the greatest intermediate academy within the Sky Sea Alliance. As such, even their B team's strength ranked at the top. Adapt to the situation as you see fit, but we'll battle according to the plan, Tang Wulin declared in near whisper. They had already watched several of their opponents' matches during the knockout competition. Regardless of combat ability or cultivation, their opponents stood out in their age group. Gu said, Wulin, you sure you're fine? Her concern was natural since he had been seriously injured the day before. A gentle smile blossomed on his lips. I'm fine. Don't worry. Tang Wulin. Suddenly, an unfamiliar voice called out. Tang Wulin turned to see a white-haired old man and a middle-aged man approaching him. The white-haired man had 2 calloused hands and walked in front, his large body bursting with vigor. He carried the imposing aura of a prestigious person. Hello, you're looking for me. Tang Wulin was certain that this man was not part of East Sea City's delegation. Therefore, he did not recognize him. I heard you were injured in a match yesterday and couldn't participate in the final round of the blacksmithing tournament. The old man stopped right in front of Tang Wulin. He stood abnormally tall, towering over the rest of the crowd. Even Tang Wulin, who was by no means short among his peers, only reached up to the man's belly. That's right. I got a bit injured. I was worried about aggravating the wounds, so I didn't compete, he confirmed. The old man said, I'm the president of the Sky Sea Blacksmiths Association, Duan Xian. But you can just call me Elder Duan. You're very talented in forging. It's a pity you couldn't participate in the final round. Tang Wulin was stunned. Sky Sea Blacksmiths Association's president? Hello, Elder Duan. I'll do my best next time, he said respectfully. Duan Xian smiled. So here's the situation, Sky Sea City has a recommendation program for talented individuals. When I saw your work, I could tell you have great potential. Are you interested in coming to Sky Sea City to develop yourself? He's recruiting me? Tang Wulin instantly understood Duan Xian's intentions. Elder Duan, I'm afraid I'll have to refuse, he said hastily. Although he hadn't lived in East Sea City for more than a year, he had already laid down roots in the city. Wu Zhongkong and Mu Chen were both excellent teachers to him. It was thanks to their guidance that he had grown so much in the past year. He had no reason to uproot his life. Duan Xian said, "Don't refuse so quickly, kid. Hear out this old man's conditions first. I'm sure you're aware that Sky Sea City is the largest city on the East Coast. It stands above East Sea City in both political and economic power. Whatever East Sea Blacksmiths Association can give you, we can also do the same. Furthermore, we can pay for all of your forging expenses before you become a saint blacksmith. You should know just how much money and time it costs to attack spirit refinement. Many blacksmiths waste enormous amounts of time, money, and energy once the time comes. Considering your talent, we're more than willing to pay for your expenses until you break through spirit refinement. We also guarantee to support you in the future and foster your growth to at least a Soul Emperor. This is what we're offering. How about it?" Tang Wulin had to admit, this Duan Xian really knew how to tempt people. Covering the costs of becoming a saint blacksmith and guaranteeing to make him a Soul Emperor was too alluring. It was an irresistible offer for any blacksmith, and even Tang Wulin was shaken. If he accepted Elder Duan's offer, then Sky Sea's Blacksmiths Association would assist him in becoming a 6th-rank blacksmith. That rank alone would make him an influential person in the blacksmithing world. "Thank you for your offer." Tang Wulin bowed to Elder Duan. "But I cannot accept. I already have a teacher. I am a member of East Sea Blacksmiths Association. Your offer is tempting, but I cannot betray my conscience." His words were polite, but his refusal was as firm as a mountain. Duan Xian was taken aback. "Kid, do you have any idea just how much resources and money I'm offering you? It's simply an astronomical figure. Even if you're lucky and capable, you'll probably need an extra 10 years to accomplish the same thing. In fact, it might take even longer. How much do you think 10 years of a person's life is? If you miss the golden period, you will have a much harder time becoming a saint blacksmith. I'm certain that East Sea's Blacksmiths Association cannot give you what I can." Tang Wulin carried himself with determination. "Elder Duan, I must thank you once again. However, I truly cannot accept. I understand how valuable what you're offering me is, but I already have a teacher. I cannot betray my teacher." His words were resolute and quick. After expressing his refusal once more, he hung his head low like a child guilty of a mistake. Duan Xian's brows creased. The middle-aged man beside him stepped forward and was about to put in a few words, but Duan Xian raised a hand to stop him. The old man sighed. "What a good kid. Mu Chen is so lucky. If East Sea City isn't enough for you one day, then you may join us. Our doors will forever be open to you." He rubbed Tang Wulin's head before turning around, leaving with large strides. As a man of his status, it wouldn't be appropriate for him to insist after rejection. Not a single word left Tang Wulin's mouth until Duan Xian was long gone. The conditions seemed pretty good. "Why did you reject it? Do you not want to leave us?" Xie Xie grinned like a fox. Tang Wulin forced out a bitter smile. "How was that just pretty good? It was so amazing that I don't think it could have gotten any better. You guys might not know this, but spirit refinement is something only 5th-rank blacksmiths can do, and it's one of the most important steps in a blacksmith's life. It's extremely hard to break through that wall, and to do so requires a lot of expensive metals. And if the forging fails, then the metal is no better than scrap metal. Just think about all that money down the drain." Astonished, Xie Xie said, "You like money so much, so why didn't you agree?" A frown slid across Tang Wulin's face. "Didn't you see how quickly I rejected him? I was afraid I would give in if I didn't do it fast enough. The conditions were just too good. Even so, my teacher has treated me well, and I don't want to part with you guys. I still have several years before it's time for me to attempt spirit refinement. If I focus on building my foundation right now, maybe I'll be able to succeed without wasting too many resources, you know? All right, our match is about to begin." As he spoke, he led the way onto the stage. Sun with rays. Duan Xian ascended the stairs until he reached a box on the upper floor. The men who had followed him stood guard outside while he alone entered box 3. Inside sat a middle-aged man. Teacher? He bowed respectfully in greeting when he saw Duan Xian. Duan Xian joined his side. Together, they viewed the ongoing matches. Your eyes are sharp. You picked up a good kid. It's almost like the time I found you. You know, he refused me. He's even more talented than me when I was his age. I haven't told you yet, but he's already a 4th-rank blacksmith. The middle-aged man revealed a splendid grin. If Tang Wulin was present, he would be startled without a doubt. The person waiting for Duan Xian in box 3 was his teacher, Mu Chen. 4th rank? Are you joking with me? As Duan Xian stared at Mu Chen, his face was the picture of shock. Mu Chen chuckled. There's no way I would joke about something like this. He's far more talented than you could imagine. If it wasn't for his low cultivation, I think he could attempt spirit refinement in 2 years should the materials be provided. Duan Xian heaved a long sigh. All right. Did you hide him from me because you were worried I would seduce him away from you? Why does it seem like his 2nd-grade 1000 refined metal had nothing to do with luck? Mu Chen said, out of respect for the rank, I wouldn't promote him to the 4th rank so easily. I only let him advance when he proved capable of 2nd-grade 1000 refining blue coppertite. My daughter's luck is pretty good though. Her sudden breakthrough was completely unexpected. I think Wulin instigated it. He wouldn't pick heavy silver normally. Didn't you say the two of them started and finished together? It seems Mu Shi was influenced by him. Duan Xian muttered, blessed by heaven. He's really blessed by heaven. It looks like I'll have to work harder to steal him. Mu Chen smiled. Yes, yes. I understand what you're trying to say. I'll be sure to fulfill our promise. But I'm going to need another 15 to 20 years to raise this kid. Once he catches up to me, I'll continue. Duan Xian grumbled, 15 to 20 years? My bones will have turned to ash by then. Roaring laughter exploded from Mu Chen. Don't pretend in front of me. At your cultivation level and body strength, you could easily live another 50 years. You're still such a schemer. Don't tell me you forbade me from announcing I'm your disciple in case this day ever came. The wrinkled face of Duan Xian unfolded into a grin. Us blacksmiths have been suppressed for too long. Yet even during this time, preparation is the key to success. If you told the world that you're my disciple, would you still have received the headquarters support and reached the 8th rank so soon? HMPH. Just wait until that kid matures. Then things will start to change. Take advantage of your youth and put in some more effort. Hurry up and advance to the next rank. As long as you can become a divine blacksmith, then our backing will grow even stronger. Mu Chen sighed. That's hard. The higher I climb, the more I understand just how difficult it is. Sun with rays. Tang Wulin, Xie Xie, and Ji Yu ascended onto the stage, taking a triangle formation. He was the vanguard while Xie Xie and Ji Yu flanked him on each side. Their opponents had climbed onto the stage as well, 3 youngsters about 14 years old. The opposing 3 were dressed in Sky Sea Academy uniforms. Their bearing was different from that of Tang Wulin's first opponents. They carried themselves calmly without any signs of contempt toward Class Zero's age. The 3 youths also arranged themselves in a triangle formation. Their leader towered over Tang Wulin by a full head. He had wide shoulders and his demeanor tranquil beyond his years. The 2 combatants behind their leader were slightly younger than him. The one on the left was slender and handsome while the one on the right stood short and stout. Hello, I am the captain of Sky Sea Academy's 2nd team, Bai Ran. The slender youth said, I'm Wu Yuhan. The stumpy one said, I'm Lei Jun. Finished with their self-introductions, the 3 said in unison, please advise us. They were worthy of being Sky Sea Academy students. Their manners were far more refined than those of Tang Wulin's previous opponents. I'm Tang Wulin from East Sea Academy, in Class 0 of the 1st grade. Tang Wulin mimicked the other team, introducing himself. Xie Xie. Ji Yu. Bai Ran narrowed his eyes at Tang Wulin until they became slits. He released a domineering aura, sending a chill through Tang Wulin's heart. From that display of strength, Tang Wulin could tell that Bai Ran's soul power exceeded his own. 3, 2, 1, begin. This marked the start of Class Zero's first match in the round-robin tournament. Bai Ran raised his right hand, an ashen light surging out to form a shield. Meanwhile, his soul rings rose from beneath his feet. 1 ring, 2 rings, 3 rings. He wielded 3 yellow soul rings. The captain of Sky Sea Academy's secondary team was actually a 3-ring soul elder. Following their leader, Wu Yuhan and Lei Jun released their martial souls, each of them sporting a pair of yellow soul rings. A 3-ringed soul elder, and a pair of 2-ringed soul grandmasters. Compared to Class Zero's earlier opposition, Sky Sea's B team was an ambush of tigers. In Bai Ran's hands rested a giant shield 1 meter in length and half a meter wide. Wave-like patterns cascaded down the top, making the surface seem thick yet stagnant. He held it in front of him as if it was an impassable wall. The moment he summoned his martial soul, he charged Tang Wulin like a bull. Wu Yuhan and Lei Jun trailed behind him, maintaining their triangle formation. Class Zero, however, chose to abandon their positioning. Xie summoned his light dragon dagger before dashing off to the side. On the other hand, Tang Wulin stood steadfast, anchoring himself in place. His purple soul ring twinkled as he weaved a protective net of blue-silver grass in front of Guu. 1,000-year soul ring? And only one? Bai Ran gawked at the purple soul ring. As for the blue-silver grass, it was unrecognizable to him. After 2 evolutions from the influence of his Golden Dragon King bloodline, it barely resembled the normal appearance. Each vine was as thick as an egg, its length shimmering with azure light and covered in twinkling scales. Within it, golden veins spread throughout like a spider's web. Its aura was sparkling and clear. Behind Bai Ran's left, Wu Yuhan's first soul ring lit up. His body swelled with power while cobalt and violet tendrils of electricity danced about his form. His arms lengthened and grew more muscular, razor-sharp claws sprouting from his fingertips. Martial soul, Thunder Wolf. Sparks also curled around Lei Jun's being, but unlike with Wu Yuhan, they were pure electricity. Electric snakes slithered out of his body, converging into a ball in front of him. Lightning shot out of Wu Yuhan, zigzagging toward Tang Wulin. At the same time, Lei Jun launched his rippling electric sphere straight at Tang Wulin. It was a pincer attack. This video will end here.